Buy my bike, sir, mommy hasn't eaten in 2 days. The bikers learned who took everything from her. The roar of engines echoed through the quiet outskirts of town as a group of bikers pulled up at a gas station. Their leather jackets gleamed under the afternoon sun, patches stitched with pride, Steel Brothers Motorcycle Club. They were loud, tough, and looked like the kind of men no one wanted to mess with. But then they saw her. A little girl, maybe 8, 9 years old, standing beside an old, rusty bicycle. Her eyes were tired but hopeful. She had tied a small cardboard sign to the bike that read, "For sale." "Hey, kid," grunted Mason, the leader of the group, cutting off his engine. "You fixing to buy a new one?" She shook her head slowly. "No, sir, I'm trying to sell it." The men exchanged looks, amused, puzzled. Mason crouched down. "Why's that?" Her voice trembled. "Buy my bike, sir, mommy hasn't eaten in 2 days." The laughter died instantly. Even the engines seemed to go quiet. Mason blinked, caught off guard. "What did you just say?" She held her little hands together tightly, as if afraid he might yell. "Mommy's sick, and she lost her job. We don't have money for food. So, I thought maybe if I sell my bike, she can eat tonight." For a long second, nobody spoke. The only sound was the faint rattle of chains on their bikes in the wind. Mason stood up, his jaw tightening. "What's your name, kid?" "Emma." "Well, Emma," he said, forcing a small smile, "how much are you selling it for?" She hesitated. $20. The men looked at the battered old thing, flat tires, rusty pedals, faded paint. It wasn't worth $5, but Mason didn't blink. He reached into his pocket, pulled out a $100 bill, and handed it to her. "Deal." Her eyes went wide. "But sir, that's too much." He shook his head. "Nope. It's the perfect price for a hero's bike." She grinned shyly, her small fingers trembling as she took the bill. But Mason wasn't done. He looked at his crew. "Boys, we're gonna follow this young lady home." The bikers nodded without a word. Emma's house was barely standing, a tiny wooden structure at the edge of town. Broken windows, a sagging porch, and no sound of life from inside. When Emma pushed open the door, a frail woman looked up from the couch, startled. Her cheeks were pale, her eyes red from crying. "Mommy, look," Emma said. "I sold my bike. Now you can eat." The woman stared at the money, then at the strangers crowding her doorway, men in leather, tattoos, and heavy boots. She looked terrified. Mason quickly removed his sunglasses. "Ma'am, we didn't mean to scare you. I'm Mason, your daughter's one brave kid." Tears welled in her eyes. I didn't want her to do that. She just wants to help." Mason knelt beside her. "We know. And we're gonna help too." He turned to his men. "Bring it in." One by one, they carried in bags, groceries, medicine, even blankets. One guy came back with a small envelope from his bike, cash collected from the group. Emma's mom covered her mouth. Why are you doing this?" "Because," Mason said softly, "we've all known what it's like to have nothing. And nobody deserves to starve, ma'am. Not while we're around." As they stocked the kitchen, one of the bikers, a quiet guy named Ryan, noticed something strange on the counter. A framed photo. It showed Emma's mom in a nurse's uniform, standing beside a man in army fatigues. Ryan froze. He picked it up carefully. "Ma'am," he asked gently, "your husband, where is he?" She hesitated. "He was in the 82nd Airborne. Died 2 years ago in Afghanistan." The room went silent again. Mason clenched his fists. "You mean, they just left you with nothing?" She nodded, tears streaming down her face. "The benefits got delayed. I've been trying to fight for them, but I couldn't keep up with the bills." Ryan's throat tightened. "My brother served in that unit," he whispered. "Your husband's name was David Turner." She gasped. "You knew him?" Ryan nodded slowly. "He saved my brother's life. He was a hero." Everyone stood frozen, the weight of the moment sinking deep. Mason looked around at his men. "Then we owe him everything." That night, the Steel brothers didn't just drop off food. They fixed the broken windows, repaired the porch, and set up a fundraiser online. Word spread through the biker community like wildfire. Within days, veterans, riders, and strangers from across the state sent help, food, money, job offers. Emma's mom got her nursing license renewed. The old house started to look like a home again. And in the backyard, sitting under a patch of sunlight, was Emma's new bike, shining bright red, with a tiny bow on the handlebars. Mason crouched beside her. "This one's not for sale, okay?" Emma smiled, eyes sparkling. "No, sir. This one's for keeps." He chuckled, ruffling her hair. "Good. Because heroes deserve to ride." The engines roared again as the bikers left, their vests gleaming under the golden evening light. Behind them, the sound of laughter filled the air, the kind they hadn't heard in a long, long time.